time for the homecoming people that are coming to speak to us.
Oh, I won't tell them. I'll just tell y'all. I don't want them. They don't want to know what I'm having.
They're all just ready to give their presentation. Here's the ones I got. So they're in that bag. They're fine.
They're freeze dried.
Right. Yes. So they keep. I literally set it on her doorknob. So when she goes in her room, I saw her leaving yesterday. She was asking how many people show up, and I said, "You got to film your class and post up a link. So if they miss it, they can watch it on the link."
We be showing up to her class.
But she's saying out of however many, how many are there supposed to be? Is what she's saying.
Oh, she's talking about the
Overall.
Yes.
I know a lot of people haven't been showing up to like the Zoom.
Is that Nikita? I feel like Nikita does the Zoom calls.
No, we just started.
Oh, Nisha's doing them.
And then she canceled them.
Oh, she's like coming in person.
Yeah. Well, no, we have lab. So I think that's even more difficult now. We have a lab to do on the days that we were supposed to just have lecture on Zoom.
So what is the lab? Like what lab do we have?
So we have presentations.
Yeah.
Like presentations with because half my people, all your people come to class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So only me and Simone come to class.
That's why I don't do group stuff.
Oh, it's awful.
I don't play with groups.
Like, listen.
Is that HBSE 2 or is that Intro to Social Welfare? Oh, okay, right. It's social policy.
Yeah. Listen, it is like, have you started on your presentation yet? Oh my God.
It's a lot of work. Oh, for this one or for her class?
For her class.
Okay.
I need to work on this one too. But it took me, I worked a little bit, like a couple hours every day last week and got through mine. And I would just hate if the other 3 people don't do theirs and then me and Simone have to scramble to finish theirs because the questions are like, you have to research find the questions to our presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But Lord have mercy. And then we try to be after class or outside of class,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody came. We did like a FaceTime.
Oh, geez.
I guess it is a little difficult. That is difficult. Maybe because I'm older. Is it because I'm older? Or is it
About like doing stuff early.
We're getting used to people showing up.
like when people like a group project and nobody's showing up? I was that little.
Oh yeah, that'd be irritating.
It irritates you too? Okay.
Because I love group projects, depending on who you're partnering with. But also, if they don't do the work, all the weight is carried on you.
Yes. That's why I just have them all as individual projects.
Which is the best. I'm about to knock yours out though. Because I just started a new class that I need to figure out how to do. Yes.
So similar to what I gave you in paper there, I've got this one is called the Parenting Skills Treatment Planner. So it gives you treatment plans on what to do for ADHD, attention-seeking behavior, a blended family, bonding or attachment issues, career preparation, character development. I forget when I scanned this. It's 170 pages. Single parenting, sibling rivalry.
Is that on the PS W Hub?
I will send it over my announcements. How
That'd be
about that?
great. That'd be great to look at.
Okay. Hello. How are you? Oh, I forgot you wanted to present soon, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I opened yours and it was like all black. It was just a black picture.
I didn't know. I didn't know my phone.
Okay. That's fine. I'm sending you guys this treatment planner over announcements. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm finishing up the
She gave me full credit for it. I just want to let you know that.
New announcement.
But she didn't see. So, or even just for this, mental health. Okay.
Yeah. Did you want to present today or is it? Okay, yeah. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I was just sending this out and passing it around too, as I have there.
Or like, we'll do. We can do it.
So now you can download it. And then, yeah, so the DSM-5, if you click on it, I also gave you guys that. So that's a 1,300-page book. And if you search, just go in and search anorexia, bulimia, exercise bulimia. I'm trying to think of the other eating disorders that are pica. Is that considered one?
Yeah.
That's a really weird disorder.
Yeah.
Pica. Yeah, they eat weird stuff.
Soap and.
So yeah,
I didn't know ice was included in that though.
and pica, just because people like to crunch on it, and it's not considered caloric food. Probably, I guess it's caloric food.
Yeah, it doesn't have any nutrition about it.
That's probably why they count ice. It's weird though. A lot of people like to crunch on ice. I hate ice actually.
I wonder if it's hereditary.
Yeah, yeah.
No. It is.
Let's see here. Eating disorder. I want to read about it now. Are yours here? There they are. Click. What, jump? Oh, it jumps. I love that. I love when it's a. So let me see. Pica. There's the diagnosis, the prevalence, risk, sex, and gender-related diagnostic issues. Oh, pica occurs in both genders. Eating non-nutrition, non-food substances may manifest in pregnancy. Specific cravings. Chalk or ice may occur. Are you eating chalk? Okay. My wife, I gotta ask her now. Maybe she
I
hit
was
it.
about to confess and say, my wife. did.
No. But she do pickles and ice cream. Pie.
Oh, okay.
Am I allowed to present today?
Yeah. Yeah, if we're gonna get two, then we better get started because
You're going to?
we gotta crush it.
Oh, are you sure?
You want me to open it on this one?
Well, let me look at it. Let me open it on my computer.
Or you could try to plug it into this thing. I don't know if it works. Like a thumb drive.
Do you want us to turn in something?
There is a place to turn in your PowerPoint.
No, like on their presentation, are we supposed to like do anything? When they
No, but
Just
listen and ask questions. Act like you're interested. Even if you're not interested,
Okay, well,
act
I
like
don't have to ask questions because I was talking. I did.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
I'll
She's
pay attention.
she's killing you
I'll give you
guys.
respect how I want respect when I give you.
Mhm.
Okay, let me look.
I had somebody in my other class, they called on me and I think I would text them.
Miss Youngblood. Yes, ma'am. I find out that they canceled my appointment on Monday. I know. I had. So Thursday. Thursday, I find out. Yeah,
That's
well,
impressive though.
It is. I was upset.
Yeah, that's
I was
well,
more
as you're
upset
looking
than I-
forward to it, you're like, what the heck am I having?
Yeah, I think that's the only time I like cried or something during this pregnancy, like a little kid.
Yeah.
I was really upset.
And that was a week ago or you
No, I found out on Friday. Did you know there's two types of PTSD?
Yeah.
There's a PTSD and there's a CPTSD.
Okay. What is
Complex version.
okay. Well, it used to only be for veterans.
Yeah, because when I was doing more research, it was just veterans. It's not just veterans.
They opened it up for kids to be diagnosed in the 2000s.
Yes.
And that's
And
the
there
big
is,
deal.
oh, I'm not gonna keep saying.
Because you're about to present
Yeah.
on it. That's fine. I'm ready whenever you guys are. I can either try to open it to 2 hours or plug your own computer. Did you break it? I've broken mine before. It's not fun.
Let me see, is somebody right here?
No, it looks like it's all there. Isn't that just like a plug-in?
I don't know. Can you tell me what this medicine is though?
So for PTSD.
Like, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sertraline, fluoxetine, and improvement.
Yeah, what do you say?
I don't think any of us know how to pronounce it.
Okay, that's fine. 'Cause we'll keep looking.
Oh, it already died. So yeah, I was going to say, did you want to present off mine or try to plug it? Oh, you do have a little cable
Where?
on the side. It's this little hexagonal shape like this. I don't know how far it'll reach, but you can move the table closer.
This is called an HDMI cord.
Yes. You have one. That's the most important thing about it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Making sure. I want to put this in here. I hate these big water bottles. How are you all doing? It's homecoming week. Got to save all your energy for the weekend, right?
Oh, don't get that off there.
You don't want to present yet? It's a secret. It's.
Yeah, I just finished this 5 minutes.
Okay.
I want to present today.
Okay, we're
Are you
going
ready?
3 then. We got to go.
Oh, you can come on.
Wait, do I have to send it to you? I didn't know.
No.
You could plug into your computer probably. In a little HDMI cord.
Cause it was just leaking when I was trying to play it. And I kept that thing upside. Yeah, when I was doing it. Cause I didn't use power.
Did you get the tutor for your class? Kate? Did you get the tutor?
I don't even know.
I hear you can sign up. If you know, sign up for tutors. There's
Yeah,
like
it's
some place-
down at the bottom of the board building with Trio, or you can do. I'm pretty sure they have it in the library and downstairs too, because I know that's where G-Way go. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I ain't asked on that, but.
Oh, I just put out the announcement for you guys. I just got
So I'm presenting to all you guys. You guys.
it. You are, yeah, this is getting to me.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is Trio picture. I'm comparing.
Oh, did you turn it in here too already?
No, did I?
Somebody did, maybe,
I just did.
because it was all black.
Yeah, my presentation cute. Look at it.
It's not working yet.
All right, let me put mine.
Why is it not connecting to the Wi-Fi? It's not working.
There's not.
Yeah.
No, it's her Wi-Fi.
You got
And then
it.
they lost discrimination.
Mm-hmm. Why not put the date on?
You can put it on whatever, because mine's on Prezi.
I never, I
Yeah, y'all can try to
want.
say Prezi.
I didn't think of that.
Let's see
We got another assignment after this.
if, there's always an assignment.
Oh, okay. Not for real. I like this one.
Yeah, me too.
There's not enough assignments.
No, it's just, you let us go at our own pace. You're just not so rude. He weak.
Yeah.
For real, because my other two professors.
I need a
are-
different background though, and it won't let me change it. I'm getting
Well, hers is cute.
So,
Hers is like triangles with different colors.
Oh, that's where you just wrote the date you're doing it, and then this is the actual presentation.
Okay.
So you could turn it on twice, it's fine.
You see it
So
slowly.
yeah, you can see
Oh.
it.
Yeah, it's slowly.
Oh, I'm saying, where's the
Don't
circle?
make me mad. Please not.
I hate my HP. It moves so slow.
Oh, where's the?
That's what I'm saying. Mine was, stuff wasn't popping up on mine.
Oh, when you hit
Please
play.
don't make me mad.
Yeah.
I know.
Obsessive compulsive.
No, it's not working. For real.
Like, is it supposed to play or something?
Like, it's very hard to be words.
Oh, the Wi-Fi sucks.
And then put it in quotation marks and then put it the year, like how you did 2000.
That's why presentations are good. They
That's
make
why-
you figure out what you have to do.
And this was an article, not a
My
website.
computer's gonna really make me
Yes. it
real
happens.
bad.
You could turn it into
Oh, it was
like,
website, then you have to
what
put
you
it.
would call it, and try to play on.
So that was-
But I wanna make sure it's not the
What did I say? We have to do something.
So the question is then who get it ready to present first?
What did it say?
See,
Psychosocial treatment.
oh, so that works.
I can just say psych. So that's where
Psychosocial. It's usually like what are the psychology and sociology things involved. It is a pretty common term, psychosocial treatment. You could call it
So the
psycho.
word is gone,
psycho treatment.
but everything else is here.
Psychosocial treatment.
Yeah,
Social.
yeah, as a common term used. See, maybe you'll have your ready before they do
On your way to do this presentation all
that. See, that's the hardest part about presentation. It gets you off sometimes.
You have so many rules.
Okay, I'll go while she fixes it. Switch off.
Okay. You got it?
Yeah, so you would do.
By the way, I asked somebody if 10 minutes was too long for presentation, and they told me yeah. So,
Who said it was too long?
my friend in nursing school.
So you gotta put the chair.
Because they don't have to talk to anybody. They just do the stuff and move the room. They don't even talk.
Hey class, my name is Amaya, and my presentation is on post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD.
It's not going in.
Like playing for you. Right, rolling.
What is PTSD? PTSD is a mental disorder that an individual gets who has been through a traumatic event or has witnessed it and is having trouble overcoming it. Do y'all know any events that may lead to someone having PTSD? Yes.
Coronavirus.
What'd you say? That was a good one.
That could be traumatizing.
Yeah. What'd you say? Yes.
Great.
Okay. Physical or sexual abuse, war, like veterans, assault in kind, kidnapping, rape, child neglect, or a sudden death of a loved one in your family, or anyone that you are close with. There is a lot of symptoms. There's symptoms during, before, and after. After you've already been through the traumatic event of whatever sort, you may have outbursts of angers, nightmares. It may be hard to stay asleep, going to sleep. You're easily startled. Many people have flashbacks they have flashbacks of the event that they've been through. And a lot of people face anxiety and emotional development issues. The different types of treatment with PTSD.
Sertraline. Can anybody pronounce the medications? Fluoxetine.
See, I could.
Oh,
Yeah.
pharmacological. You're saying the pharmacological.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. There's two types of drugs that one can get for PTSD, antidepressants or anxiety drugs. The antidepressant exhibit A, B, and C. These are really big, hard words.
Anybody want to try to pronounce it?
And exhibit A. Anyone want to try to say these words? Neither do I.
Lorazepam is one I've heard. So anti-anxiety. They also have Boost Bar and a Xanax candy bar. You ever heard of Xanax candy bars?
So
They look like little candy bars. They're drugs that it basically makes you almost feel drunk. And you take it's anti-anxiety, but there's another where it's like enoxalant.
Where do you get it from?
You get it prescribed
Oh.
because it's like you're high. You get high off it. Like it can be abused badly. Some
Like
people
candy?
take them They would talk about the 50s moms that were all stressed out, like
Mhm.
having too many kids in the house. They just take those pills and they get it. And like the kid just ran around and broke shit.
Okay.
But it made it through motherhood.
Psychosocial treatment.
Psychosocial, yeah.
Okay. There is 3 different types of treatments under this category. The cognitive behavior treatment is when an individual has to identify what during this event is making you either not be able to overcome it or is stopping you from sleeping, or what is the main event flashbacks that you're having from this event. Exposure therapy is when an individual with PTSD opens up and gives details about the flashbacks or the event that caused them to have PTSD. And the written therapy is just an exercise that they do with their therapist, and they get assigned homework with this. And it's just an exercise that, because some people don't like to verbally talk it out, so you can write it down and mental exercise. Cognitive therapy, people with PTSD tend to talk down on themselves negatively. So they'll usually say something like, I'll never be normal again, I'm going to die. With this exercise, you want to redirect them and use positive terms. For an example, I'll be better, or I feel safe. The risk and support. Women are at the greater risk than males when it's coming to PTSD. If one has a history of substance abuse or stress in everyday life, you're at a high risk of facing PTSD. I do believe before anyone can help you, you have to try to help yourself. The PTSD, trying to help yourself, is to stay off of drugs. People use like marijuana or any other hard drug or alcohol to try to hide their pain or hide what they're going through. And to be able to help yourself, you should steer away from trying to use a drug to cover up your pain. Reaching out to others and being able to talk to someone, or having someone with a good listening ear can also help, is also a way to help yourself overcome PTSD. More positive ways to overcome PTSD. There are PTSD like groups, like an AAU group. They also have one for PTSD. Educating yourself on the mental illness that you have. Once again, having someone to talk to and having positive people around you in your circle.
So PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder, and what it really is a failure to return to normal after a traumatic event. So it happens, and then people don't get back to their lives that they previously were. And of course, if something happens, we're humans, we're going to have an emotional response. What happens is when it's prolonged, and then after 6 months, people are still struggling, then we start diagnosing. So signs and symptoms of PTSD are highly variable and often misdiagnosed as other conditions. People can have trouble sleeping, high anxiety, depression, trouble experiencing positive emotions, trouble in their relationships because they struggle with loving emotions with the people that they know that they love. Even so far as having what we call perceptual distortions, which other people call hallucinations. They can hear people whispering their name or see shadows out of the corner of their eyes, and they're afraid to say these things. Avoidance. They don't want to go to the places that remind them of what happened. They don't want to be around people that look like what happened. So commonly when we think of PTSD, our mind automatically goes to war, soldiers. But more commonly in our communities, we see exposure to violence or having violent acts acted upon them on an individual level, learning about it. We see medical trauma. We see sexual assaults. We see childhood trauma, community violence, racial trauma. So COVID took a turn for PTSD people. It exposed them to trauma directly. A lot of healthcare workers were exposed to this type of trauma that they dealt with in the past, but now it was at such an extreme that they started to struggle dealing with it. People that already had PTSD saw an emergence of symptoms, a return of symptoms, a worsening of symptoms. Their fears were verified. World dangerous place. Oh, be in trouble. Maybe I might get sick. Maybe I might get hurt. What was also explained to me by a patient that masks are more troublesome because people that have trauma don't like looking at people in the eyes. Oftentimes the aggressors use that, look at me in the eyes before they harm them, or don't look at me in the eyes. And now if you have a mask on, there's nothing left but someone's eyes. And so it's traumatizing. Also, you cannot easily identify people with a mask on. So worrying, where your brain can quickly switch from that's not someone that hurt me in the past to now, are we sure that's not someone that hurt me in the past? Because half of their face is covered. It's not so easy anymore. So if a loved one or yourself or someone that you care about has symptoms of PTSD that you recognize, be loving. They don't see the world like you do. Things that you think, I don't know why you got upset about that. I probably do. And it's because it closely mirrors something bad that happened in their past. So encourage them to reach out for help. Remind them how important they are to you and how much you want them back in your life as the best person that they can be. And there is help. Be gentle. Be supportive. Don't judge. It's not a morality issue. They aren't acting in a certain way because they're bad people. They're acting in a certain way because that's what's helped them survive bad things. And so if we can get people fully restored, people will have much more loving relationships and be more present with them. PTSD can be treated in a variety of ways. We can do it through therapy. We can do it through medication. There are treatment models that match your need or your loved one's need. Some people like individual therapy, some people like group therapy. Some people don't want to talk about all the bad things that happened or even can't remember all of the bad things that happened. And they think, well, what would therapy help me with? I don't want to talk about this and I don't even remember this. There are models that match that too. If you find yourself with an inability to cope, with distancing yourself from your families, with you no longer enjoy the things that you used to enjoy, you're having trouble sleeping, you're having panic attacks, you're just not okay, it's time to reach out because we're here for you. And the sooner we fix this, the sooner you're back on your feet. This is treatable. We can help, but you need to reach out. You don't want this to last longer in your life than it needs to. The biggest takeaway concerning PTSD is to remember that it is highly individualized, highly variable, and you've done nothing wrong. So there's no need to carry this burden. It's somebody else's. Come see us. Let us help you unpack that heavy box you've been carrying along so that you can lead a happy, healthy life because that's what's on the other side.
Recovery. Some people do believe that one can never overcome PTSD, or it's a long-term effect on someone, but it's not. Recovery stages are different in every person, age, and depending on the timeline and, of course, the event that one has been through. For an example, someone that may be living in an abusive relationship is living through an ongoing trauma experience versus someone that faced it in their teen years and now is trying to overcome it as an adult. The adult may have a faster recovery than someone that's living in a day-to-day life. Family therapy is a big one that I believe in because my mother has always told me that we don't have anyone but ourselves. So starting with family therapy, I feel like is a very big step. Them are the closest people to you in my eyes. So being able to work together, understanding how to communicate with each other better and work through this together as a family can have a positive impact on someone that's going through PTSD, and it may be easier for them to overcome it. Pop quiz. True or false? It takes 2 years to overcome PTSD.
False.
Someone can get PTSD at any age.
True.
Men are more at risk.
False.
Ding, 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 ding. That's all. We're all done.
Good job.
Did I need this stuff?
That helps. Let's do that.
No. Are you grading them like a piece of paper, giving it to us, or putting it on B12?
It's
B12?
on you to it.
Okay. Can I see?
Yes.
My presentation is over obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sound great.
Just making sure.
The objectives of OCD is lowering the frequency of severity of OCD symptoms, developing new coping strategies, or improving the overall quality of time. This means such as like something you so like you got OCD about, you're gonna keep wanting to go to, keep wanting to go to, keep wanting to go to. So you're gonna have to try to figure out either a new hobby, or you're gonna have to try to figure something else out, or you're gonna just keep going to it. How is it diagnosed in the DSM-5-TR? Licensed clinical social workers can diagnose mental illness and be involved in direct therapy with patients in private practice, or they might be part of a team conducting research for a university, hospital, or private organization. The definition of OCD is a long-lasting disorder in which a person experiences uncontrollable and recurring thoughts, obsessions, engage in repetitive behavior, or both. People with OCD have time-consuming symptoms that can cause significant distress, or interfere with daily life. So, do y'all think OCD make people go crazy?
Yes,
Why y'all think that?
because it's an obsession.
Without
First of all,
Repetitive.
I thought OCD means order attendant disorder.
So, I was wrong.
Without help, yeah, without medication. They got good meds for it now.
I like that picture.
Cause of OCD. Some theories suggest that OCD is caused by personal experience. For example, if you had a painful childhood experience or suffered trauma, abuse, discrimination, or bullying, you might learn to use obsession and compulsions to cope with anxiety. Symptoms of OCD. What's that C word on the first one? Right here.
Contamination.
Fear of contamination or dirt, doubting and having difficulty tolerating uncertainty, needing things orderly and symmetrical, aggressive or horrific thoughts about losing control and harming yourself or others. Unwanted thoughts including aggression or sexual or religious subjects. OCD in children. Behaviors that may suggest that a child has OCD includes fear of dirt, germs, and contamination from people, fear of touching surfaces, doubts about household safety, including, for example, whether or not a door is locked, a window is shut, or applicants have been turned off. Types of treatment, talking therapy, usually a type of therapy that helps you face your fears and obsessive thoughts without putting them right with compulsion. Medication, usually a type of
Antidepressants.
medicine that can help by altering the balance of chemicals in your brain. Is medication right for OCD? If your symptoms are mild, you can try a type of counseling called exposure and response prevention to help control your OCD without medicine. If your symptoms are severe, medicines
From the antidepressants.
will usually be prescribed first. You may want to start counseling at the same time or soon after you begin medicines. So when they take the medicine, do y'all think like therapy gonna work, or they just take the medicine and just?
I think they can go hand in hand.
Sometimes you need both.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Therapy.
Oh. Hold on, wait. I gotta move this picture on, please. Oh. Okay. Statistics on OCD. OCD affects approximately 1 in 40 adults and 1 in 100 children in the United States. The average age of onset for OCD is around 19 years old. Around 50% of people with OCD experience symptoms before the age of 18. Women are more likely to be diagnosed with OCD than men. Approximately 1/3 of people with OCD also have a tic disorder. The most common obsessions include contamination fear, fear of harm or danger, and unwanted sexual thoughts or images. Ways to cope with OCD. Think about what might make your OCD worse. Try a relaxation technique. Try mindfulness. Try to improve your sleep. Think about your diet. Try to do some physical activities. Spend time in nature. Important information. OCD symptoms tend to wax and wane over time. Sometimes they may be little more than background noise. At other times, they may be very distressing and disturbing. OCD can start at any time from preschool age to adulthood, usually by the age of 40. One-third to one-half of adults report that their OCD started during childhood. For real.
Now this is an upgrade. And away we go.
Double checking things is a pretty common human behavior. Like, did I shut the garage door? Better double check. How about locking the front door? Double check. Gas stove and oven off? Double check. We all do it, but what if you feel compelled to triple check it, or even quadruple check it, or quintuple check it even? Then it might be considered an obsession. Now, what if you have to do a certain ritual with the gas stove and oven before leaving the home each time? Like, make sure the gas stove is off, wipe down the gas stove to clean it, double check that the burners are off, make sure the oven's off, wipe down the oven to clean it, and then open the oven door to make sure no heat's coming out. And then you can leave the house. Then that might be a compulsion. Obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD, is a specific type of anxiety disorder characterized by these obsessions or compulsions. Obsessions are recurrent and intrusive thoughts that are typically unwanted and tough to get out of your brain. These unwanted thoughts, like my house is unsafe, cause anxiety, and usually they lead to compulsions, which are actions that might be performed to try and reduce the anxiety associated with obsessions. As you might imagine, these thoughts and rituals can have a serious impact on someone's daily life. OCD affects around 3% of the population and affects both men and women equally, and usually starts in childhood or in the teen years. Celebrities like David Beckham and Howie Mandel are known to be affected by OCD, and a more severe example is that of Howard Hughes, business tycoon and entrepreneur, among other things, who was affected by a relatively incapacitating OCD later in his life. Although obsessive compulsive includes both obsessions and compulsions, One doesn't need both obsessions and compulsions for a diagnosis. Some individuals might have just obsessions or just compulsions, but the majority of patients have both, often where the compulsion is performed to alleviate an obsession. A very common compulsion is cleaning, which often stems from an obsession with germs or contamination. Another common compulsion is checking, usually because they have obsessions that something's unsafe. So they'll check to make sure that something's definitely safe by unlocking and relocking it, sometimes several times. More generally though, repeating is a compulsion on its own, where an action or phrase is repeated several times. And usually this is done because if it's not, they think something bad will happen. Sometimes patients might feel compelled to order or arrange things, because when they're out of order, it causes anxiety and discomfort. Finally, mental rituals are also obsessions. These are often done to try to neutralize intrusive or what they think are bad thoughts. So they might try and call up specific words or phrases they think are good thoughts to try and replace the bad thoughts. Now, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, the 5th edition, or the DSM-5, gives specific diagnostic criteria to meet for a diagnosis of OCD. First and foremost, they need to have the presence of obsessions, compulsions, or both. Makes sense. The obsessions and/or compulsions need to also be time-consuming, often such that it produces distress with their social life and their work. For example, taking 2 hours every day folding and unfolding clothes and then being late for work. It's also important that the obsessions and compulsions are not due to the physiological effects of a substance or other medical condition. Finally, the apparent anxiety isn't better explained by another mental disorder, like, for example, an obsession with personal appearance, like a dysmorphic disorder. Like most mental disorders, there isn't a known cause of OCD, though it's thought to be a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Sometimes OCD seems to run in families, and an important clue is that identical twins are more often affected than non-identical twins. It's now thought that abnormalities in serotonin neurotransmission in the brain plays a key role, though the exact mechanism is unknown. Treatment usually involves psychotherapy, medications, or both. Among psychotherapy options, cognitive behavior therapy has been effective, specifically a technique called exposure and response therapy, where patients are first exposed to the anxiety and compulsion-provoking situation, ultimately showing that the anxiety actually lessens when the compulsion is not carried out. Because the cause has been linked to serotonin, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs, have been shown to be an effective drug treatment, though they often come with symptoms and side effects that may need further treatment with medications or psychotherapy. With the right treatment, though, patients often return to normal daily life and activities.
And then there's some picture of OCD, some stuff that they come through. And then there's no surgery. That's it. Want me to turn this in?
Yeah, you can put it in.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Any questions?
Oh, yeah, this is funny. I forgot to put that in there.
That's okay. Does yours have recording plugged into also? You could do it off. If it doesn't die.
It's just a presentation.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, y'all know that famous nigga here? Where he at?
Oh yeah, here's a sign-in sheet for you guys.
Where my phone at? Do they really be famous if we don't know? Girl, what? I'm about to see the movie.
Oh,
What
yeah,
happened?
he here. Okay, yeah, he's up there.
Terrence J.
Jay.
Oh,
Jay.
What, at that Walmart thing out there?
Yes. Where he at?
Why did this boy just? He was here.
I'm sorry.
Anybody have a pen?
Yeah.
Yes.
The one time we have a little bit of fun.
What was he doing with Walmart? Giving away free stuff?
They do like, Walmart is doing the HBCU tour, so that's why they was
The
here.
church it? I'm thinking away.
I know, I went out to see if there was anything free and I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I don't even think it was, I think it was, they said different businesses was like.
To sign in, she wanted to sign in, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I just on my phone.
Yeah.
I think
I was
so.
thinking about not going, cause I don't know who his music, but it's an excuse to dress up, so.
He said, family over money.
Okay.
What's that song called?
Family over money.
Okay, let me write that down.
Is it that or is that?
Mm-hmm, spend it on me, but that's what another female, so he might
No,
not.
wait, what's they called?
Family, he's got to perform family over money.
Family over money.
Babyface?
Yeah,
And you
Babyface
said,
Ray.
what the business,
Baby
what
who?
the business is.
Babyface Ray.
Babyface Ray.
He's from the D.
Or Lil, she
Babyface
might,
Ray.
that might.
Yeah. He's like 35. Yeah.
You said, what's that other song called?
Um,
At all.
We got you.
he just got a song like a couple weeks ago. Somebody said that he might perform his.
Is that it?
Another.
He like, you have to
Is it a better one? Okay.
Oh, Jack Boys just came out.
Oh, he ain't gonna perform. He gonna perform it.
Somebody said that he might perform his newer song.
I would just need to just stay there to be honest.
And Lil Tyler Foe. You want me to turn it in or no?
You can, yeah, just so I got a copy. Ah, there it is. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Anybody else have questions about presentations?
Yeah, let me pay attention to this eating disorder. I think I got this. I can go days without eating and just it's not fake. But sometimes I just literally don't be hungry. But my people I live with, they be like, she never eats, like you gotta eat. But I just don't be hungry. So I don't know what that's about.
Doctor will tell you.
I'm getting raw leg here, man.
I don't know. Oh, okay.
Here you go.
How do I get this to
Oh, if you click on the one that looks like a slideshow like that, right next to the zoom in part. It's-
this?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And it'll just play.
Yeah, cause I'll have natural feel like
I got a weird presentation form. Thank you. There you go.
Nothing out there, so.
Okay. My presentation on eating disorders.
Why is it saying what she's saying?
Yeah, I don't
you got it like that.
Oh my God. Oh, not my God. That is cool.
It is kind of cool. I used to have it in Russian for the Russian student. that was in
Oh.
class.
So you smart.
Okay, this is a short video about what eating disorders is. How do I click it?
You may have to go into the edit part and then just like copy and paste it.
About a lick of time.
You made it for the last presentation.
He was at the.
Got a paper bag?
Yeah.
Through deserts.
The food pantry.
That was the free food on Tuesday. You're right. The first Tuesday
That's
of
always
every
what it
month.
was. Cause I had like a big box of bananas and grapes.
Okay, I don't know how to use it.
So if you copy, if you just copy from there, usually say that. Is that the whole thing?
Mhm.
Okay, and then I usually
Did
just
you
go
do
edit,
your Smith case yet?
copy, and then paste. That should make it go. Hopefully that makes it go.
I listened to.
That's it. There you go.
Oh, that was hard. How many cases?
And I got some crust pizza just for you with that garlic flavor. But you wanted more heat, so now you get it like.
Skip, and then you can go like that. Probably get mad with that noise.
Globally, about 10% of people will experience an eating disorder during their lifetime. And yet, eating disorders are profoundly misunderstood. Misconceptions about everything from symptoms to treatment make it difficult to navigate an eating disorder or support someone you love as they do so. So let's walk through what is and isn't true about eating disorders. First, what is an eating disorder? Eating disorders are a range of psychiatric conditions characterized by these main patterns of behavior: restricting food intake, binging or rapidly consuming large amounts of food, and purging or eliminating calories through vomiting, laxatives, excessive exercise, and other harmful means. An eating disorder can involve any one or any combination of these behaviors. For example, people living with anorexia usually restrict the amount of food they eat, while bulimia nervosa is an eating disorder characterized by recurrent binges and purges. Importantly, these behaviors determine whether someone has an eating disorder. You can't tell whether someone has an eating disorder from their weight alone. People who weigh what medical professionals might consider a healthy range can have eating disorders, including severe ones that damage their long-term health in invisible ways, including osteoporosis, anemia, heart damage, and kidney damage. Just as we can't tell whether someone has an eating disorder based on their weight alone, we can't get rid of these disorders simply by eating differently. That's because eating disorders are, at their core, psychiatric illnesses. What we understand, they involve a disruption of someone's self-perception. Most people who experience them are severely critical of themselves and report many self-perceived flaws. They may use eating to try to regain some control over an internal sense of chaos. We still don't know exactly what causes eating disorders. There likely isn't a single cause, but a combination of genetic and environmental risk factors that contribute. Sometimes other mental illnesses, like depression or anxiety, can cause symptoms of eating disorders. In addition, certain psychological factors, such as perfectionism and body image dissatisfaction, are risk factors for eating disorders. Several social factors contribute too, including internalized weight stigma, exposure to bullying, racial and ethnic assimilation, and limited social networks. Although there is a common misconception that only women experience eating disorders, people of all genders can be only women experience eating disorders. People of all genders can be affected. As these disorders intimately affect the development of one's identity and self-esteem, people are particularly vulnerable to developing them during adolescence. Although these are among the most challenging psychiatric disorders to treat, effective therapies and interventions exist, and many people who receive treatment make a full recovery. Treatment has a higher chance of success the earlier it starts after someone develops disordered eating behaviors. But unfortunately, less than half of people with an eating disorder will seek and receive treatment. Because of the complex effects of eating disorders on both the body and the mind, treatment usually includes a combination of nutritional counseling and monitoring, psychotherapies, and in some cases, medications. Evidence-based psychotherapies exist as treatments for most eating disorders, including cognitive behavioral therapy and family-based therapy. These are talk therapies that help people gain the skills to deal with underlying psychological problems that drive eating disorder symptoms. Because not all patients will respond to these treatments, researchers are also investigating treatments outside of psychotherapy, such as transcranial magnetic stimulation. Proper treatment can reduce the chances of dying from a severe eating disorder. Eating disorders can provoke a powerful sense of powerlessness, but education for individuals, families, and communities helps erode the stigma and improve access to treatment.
If you go to the bottom, it might pop up on PowerPoint.
Okay. There are a lot of types of eating disorders, but these are the more common ones, like anorexia, binge eating, pica, and avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, as well as purging. Anorexia, they usually picture themselves as overweight even if they're not, and they tend to monitor their weight daily and avoid eating certain types of food, and they count their calories as well. People with bulimia frequently eat unusual large amounts of food at one time. People who binge eat does the same thing, but it's in a shorter period of time, and they feel like they don't have any control over how much they're eating. People with pica, they eat things that are not really nutritional for them, like ice or starch and stuff like that. Um, People who have avoidant restricted food intake disorder try to avoid food due to the lack of interest in eating it, the texture, or even the smell or taste of certain foods. And people with purging disorder, they eat and then after eating, they throw it up or take laxatives. There are different kinds of treatment to help with eating disorders, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, family-based therapy, and group cognitive therapy. Everyone can be at risk for eating disorders, but on average, it's more likely for females to develop anorexia at age 16 to 17 and a half. Teen females between 13 and 19 and young women in their early 20s are the most at risk of eating disorders. Recovery can be hard for people with eating disorders, not only for the person that has the eating disorder, but as well as for their family, because sometimes during treatment, sometimes they have to go back multiple times. And these are a couple short stories about eating disorders.
Know there's someone working relentlessly. If your question is children, we're changing the outcome together.
I chose Wix for my business because of its massive scope for functionality and freedom of creation.
My husband in prison told me
What are you doing?
Did you get your project?
Oh, that just scared.